Mm, hello? Does everyone hear me? Hello? Mm, okay. I don't really understand how you do this. Mm, hello? Does everyone hear me? Hello? Hello? Is anyone here? Hello? Hello? Hi, Mikhail?
Hi, Daniel. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. Who's here? Are you gonna take part? You and Yuri? I don't see anyone else.
The people are connected to our lesson. А как правильно? On the all урока, on the all distance of the lesson. Okay. Oh, a lot of students.
Okay, so is everyone here? Can I start?
Hello, hello everybody.
Hi, Tatiana. Let's start. Let's wait for the others. They will join us. Hey,
Good
Daniel,
evening.
can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Then let's start the class.
So we can.
Let's-
Can we start?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So today we're gonna talk about travel. The basic words you need to know. The phrases. Everyone's probably been somewhere traveling, especially because this is Ukraine. Ukraine's a lot closer to Europe and like the rest of like the world than the U.S. is basically. So people here have probably been at least once somewhere overseas. So that's why today we're going to talk about just the basic phrases and words of traveling. And I'm going to ask you some guys some questions also about what you know about traveling. All right. So first of all, let's start with some really easy follow-up questions. Have you ever been abroad and where? And if you've been to many places, what was your favorite place that you actually liked going, that you liked when you visited? So let's start with someone. Let's start with Anton.
Actually, I've never been anywhere.
Okay, where would you like to go somewhere, for example? Hello?
Oh,
Yes, I asked. Would you, if you've never been anywhere, would you like to go? Would you like to go somewhere, to, for example, to some country or some area, and why?
I would love to travel to Australia.
Okay, what did you find interesting about Australia, for example?
Uh, kangaroo,
Okay,
Crocodile.
Martian landscapes,
okay. So some of these words. Okay,
crocodiles.
crocodiles and kangaroo, right? Crocodiles and kangaroos. Okay. Well, I've never been to Australia, but I'd love to go there. Also, um, that's a really interesting place. So let's start with the most basic words that you need to know when traveling anywhere. So can anyone tell me what, for example, words like uh, take off mean? Anton.
Depart,
Take off. Take off.
take off.
Yes.
Ну, самолет, когда взлетает. Э,
Excuse me.
Depart or flight.
Okay, so you know it's like when a plane takes off, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay. What about carry-on baggage? Maybe
Tatiana.
Tatiana knows. What?
Carry-on baggage, it's a luggage that you can take with you on the board.
Exactly. That's absolutely correct. And what is that was very good. Exactly. Okay. And what is a boarding pass? Tatiana.
Boarding pass, it's like it's something like a ticket which you are given by the airport officer when you are checking.
Okay. Let's ask Christina. What, for example, what is an attraction?
So actually, I don't know what I can say about traveling because I never traveling before. But I think that I have a lot of places which I want to be. Maybe
Like, for example, where? What places would you like to go and why?
to go. It's European countries. First of all, maybe USA, and the last one, Australia.
Okay. So like the USA and Australia. What do you want to go? What do you want to see in the USA, for example?
USA. USA has a lot of institutes. America have a lot of different states with different mentality, with different people, with different cultures, with different landmarks, and it's very momentous for visitors, for traveling people, and it could be very interesting for us.
Okay.
But for me, it's momentous because I want to study in the USA.
So you want to study? Well, that's actually very good. In the USA, there are a lot of actually very, really, really good universities that you can actually attend. They're really educating. They're actually very good in terms of education. Let's ask, for example, who else do we have? Was that right, Vinny?
What I can say about traveling because I never traveled before.
Вторая вкладка открыта. Давайте прикроем лишнее, потому что я хочу чуть.
Would you like to go and why? Sorry, Vinny?
Yeah.
Yes, Vinny. I have a question. I have a question for you, Vinny. Tell me, when was the last time you traveled and where?
The last I traveled to the Europe some year ago.
Okay.
It was Germany and France.
Germany and France. And what did you like, for example, in Germany and France? What did you see there? What was interesting? What was interesting for you?
It was at first when I go abroad.
The first time you were abroad, right?
The first time, yes.
Okay.
I visited my relatives in Germany. I visited some cities, and I saw mountain Alps.
Okay.
It was very beautiful, and I always wanted to watch Paris, Tower de Eiffel.
Paris, not Paris, Paris. Don't forget. Paris, not Paris.
Okay. And I want to travel to the Europe in the nearest future.
Okay. Okay. Well, for example, that's interesting. So basically, you've been to France and Germany both. Okay, but I have a question to everyone. What do you think? For example, I have a question for. Who do we ask? I'm sorry. Your name. Talkishov. Talkishov. Yes, is that right?
Yeah. Are you
Uh,
hear me?
yes, I have a question for you. What countries do you prefer visiting? Like hot countries, for like hot countries near the sea, or cold countries, like where it snows more. What countries do you prefer to visit?
Can you repeat, please? I don't hear you.
Yes, the question was, what countries do you prefer to visit? Like cold countries or hot countries?
I don't hear you. Sorry. What country is?
What countries do you prefer to visit? Like cold countries in the mountains or hot countries like near the sea?
I prefer to visit. I think a country with a cold climate.
With a colder climate, right? Why is that?
Because I very like uh, snow and winter.
Okay.
I
Okay.
like. Um, I don't know how it sounds in English. Skates.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Mm.
Do you mean skateboard? Yes.
Like skates?
Skateboard and коньки,
Ski.
and ski. Yeah,
Oh, you mean like for you mean like for ice skates, right? Ice skates.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Ice skates. Okay, good. All right, now I have a question to all of y'all. Everyone sitting here listening, I have a question to everyone, and whoever wants to can answer can start talking. It doesn't matter. Now, what do you have to plan before going to another country? What do you need to do before you can travel to another country?
Find a
Like
place to stay.
in terms of planning, I want to hear from everyone. I want whoever hears me right now. Let's start. For example, we haven't heard from the girl here. English is the name. I don't know. Yes. Let's go ahead. Start talking. So, what do you have to do before? What do you have to do before traveling to another country? What do you have to plan out?
I don't know if my mic is working. Is it working? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, great. Then you probably need to find a place to stay. Sorry I was late, by the way.
It's okay. You have a very good pronunciation.
Thank you.
Go ahead. I'm listening. So, what do you have to do? Like, like more specific. Like, what do you have to plan out before you can travel? Like, what do you have to, actually predict? What do you have to figure out before you can travel anywhere?
Make sure you have extra money in case you get robbed a month.
Okay, that's a good idea. Okay. All right, that's very good. What else?
Find a place to stay.
A place to stay. Okay.
I don't know, maybe get some emergency numbers just in case.
That's a good idea actually too. That's a very good idea. Okay.
Make sure you have extra cash to buy some clothes in case your luggage gets lost.
Okay. So it's all about having extra money just in case.
Yeah, well, basically, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a very good thing in terms of security. I agree with you. Okay, now about traveling also. Do you prefer to travel alone or with someone, and why? Let's ask Anton this question. Anton can answer.
I think alone. I would prefer alone because I love motor and I love biking and you hear me? I have voice lags.
I can hear you. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Anton.
И, Антон, ты, если что, ты можешь на русском, в принципе, спрашивать, и что-нибудь тебе подскажем.
Да, ясно, просто лаги какие-то жуткие.
Ну, не знаю, у меня, в принципе, тебя хорошо слышно. Попробуй еще. Тебя хорошо слышно. Okay, maybe.
So, let's ask, for example, Tatiana. Do you prefer traveling alone or with someone, and why? Like, what is the main reason?
Personally, I prefer to travel with somebody because I'm very outgoing person, as I think. So, and if you have a company, it's more interesting to have some excursions. Also, you have somebody who can make a photo of you. So you don't need to ask people, just to distract them, and also you can discuss some moments, and you have like a shoulder of help if something can happen.
I don't really agree with you. I think that if you travel, I think traveling alone is a little bit better, because when you travel alone, you get the full impression of the other country. When you're traveling with someone, you know, you're taking someone with you from behind, you know? So it's like, it's really, you don't get the full impression of the country. You don't get those full 100%. So I would argue with that. I would argue with you about that a little bit. What do you think, for example, Christina?
So I don't see some problems in asking of people, because it's not a big trouble for us. Asking of people can develop our communication skills.
I agree. Exactly. That's the main point. I think the best is, you know, to ask people. Because when you ask people, you can actually start. You know, that's when your English improves, like in terms of English, right? Like because when you're alone, that's when things starts to get interesting. You know, that's when.
English practice, you will have a new friends maybe, or new faces. They're always changed in other countries, and it's interesting because it's some meaning of life that you don't need in. So some constant events are not necessary in our lives. We need in movements.
Okay. What do you think, Vinny?
I agree with girls. Sorry. I agree with girls, and when I went to the Europe, I was alone.
Yes, alone. That's right, alone.
I was alone, and it was difficult to communicate with my poor English, but I had a big experience, and I understood that I began to think in English in that time, and it was interesting and helpful.
Okay. What do you think? English. English. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear.
Это вот, кстати, Мариан, такой ник.
Oh, was that me?
Yes, yeah. You.
Oh, sorry. I have no idea what nickname that posted. So, sorry, never mind. Well, I don't know. I think it depends on what your purpose is. If you're simply looking to have some fun, then it's probably nice to have company. But if you're actually looking forward to learning, or I don't know, meeting new people, then it's probably a good idea to travel by yourself.
Well, in terms of, for example, in terms of tourism, if you want to see a different country, right? If you just want to go out, if you want to see a new place, you know, have some new impressions, it's better to travel alone, or you know, meet some new friends along the way.
Well, in my case, if I wanted to go out, I'd probably go with somebody, because I think I'd be too shy to go to new places by myself.
Okay, that's
convincing.
I can agree with you on that. Okay. So Tatiana, you hear us?
Yes, I hear.
No, you still think that traveling with someone is better?
No, I think that yes, it's better, because, and also it depends on the what kind of rest you want to have, because if it's like lying on the seashore, it's better to travel with somebody. But if it's like something active trip, maybe traveling through some like a tour, European cities or some others, so maybe it's better to travel alone.
Okay. All right. What about you, Anton? What do you think about this? Traveling with someone, or having just being alone?
Definitely alone.
So you definitely right.
Because I love drive on bike.
Oh, so you like cycling, right? That's called cycling.
That's cycling,
Okay.
and it's deal for alone.
Oh yeah, of course. It's a lot more interesting alone. I agree with you. But sometimes it's better if you travel with someone. You can share the impressions. Sometimes it's better if you don't travel. It depends on the situation, I think. But still, what about we didn't ask Tolkachov. I'm not mistaken. That's his name. Yes. Are you here, Tolkachov?
Absolutely no.
And he left. Yes. Let me say. Uh, Mikhail, did you leave?
Yes. Okay.
Is he here?
Could you repeat the question?
Did Tolkachov, the person with us, did he leave? I'm sorry.
Tolkachov maybe sleep on the lesson. Choose the next.
Okay. All right. Next question is also a debate question, basically. What do you prefer to travel by? Like car, plane, boat, train, and why? Let's ask, for example, Vinny.
Me?
Yeah. What do you prefer to travel by?
What transport I prefer? I would like to try all transports. I think all transport interesting in own way. Last time I went by the plane. It was comfortable and I think it's the most cheaper way. But next time I dream about driving by the car. It will be difficult. It take 3 days. But
it takes 3 days.
3 days, yes. But I think it will be interesting, and I want to have this experience once in my life.
Oh, traveling by car is really interesting. Christina, what about you? What do you prefer to travel by?
Sorry.
What do you prefer to travel by? Like by plane, by train, by boat, by car?
I very like trains, and cars, and buses in equal amount of fields. So, but particularly I like trains. I don't know why, but I think it's more cozy for journey and more interesting. Actually, we have some relationships with our neighbors in the train. But I had never traveling by airplane. I don't know how is it.
So you've never traveled by plane, right?
Yes.
You've never traveled by plane. Okay. Well, planes are really fast. Planes are quick, but planes are really cool. Planes are really interesting. Has anyone here in the group traveled by plane before?
Yep.
Has anyone in the group traveled by plane? Can I hear from someone?
Yes, I have.
And I.
English, yes, you're making English.
Well, yeah, you can call me Mariana.
I'm sorry, yes. All right, can you explain? Can you describe, Christina, your impressions of flying? Mary.
Oh, did you ask me again?
Yeah. Could you,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
could you tell Christina, yeah, like about your impressions of flying, for example?
Well, I'm actually quite comfortable on planes, so I would definitely recommend trying that to Christina. But on the other hand, there are a lot of people who are scared to death to fly by planes. I don't really know why. They seem pretty safe to me.
Okay, that seems convincing. Well, pretty good. What about you, Tatiana? What do you prefer to travel by?
Yeah, I have traveled by airplane only once, and this experience was really enjoyable for me. I like it, in spite that my friends they were very scared of high, but I was very impressed by clouds, so I like it. And in my country, I like trains. I think that. It's a good kind of transport, and it's also one of the cheapest ones and the fastest. No, if it's like in borders of the country. But if you're traveling abroad and if it is a very long distance, I think it's better to use a plane.
All right, I agree with you. Absolutely. Okay, Anton, I have a question. What do you prefer? Do you prefer active or relaxing holidays?
Active.
Active, and why? Why not relaxing? Why not better to just relax somewhere at the beach and that's it?
uh, Relaxing you can find at home.
Okay.
To travel, usually people travel to find new experience,
New impression.
new impressions. Yes.
Okay.
Well,
So,
that's why I think so.
okay. And Mary, what do you prefer? Active or relaxing?
Uh, Again, me?
Yeah.
It's Mariana. I'm not Mary, I'm Mariana.
Mary.
But that's okay, never mind. I've been called all kinds of names. I actually prefer relaxing because I'm quite stressed while not traveling. So I'd rather choose something relaxing. Yeah.
So you'd rather choose relaxing holidays?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Apart from what about you, Vinny?
I prefer active travel.
Active holidays, right? Rather than relaxing.
Yes.
And what can you explain why, for example?
Could you repeat?
Could you explain why? Why do you prefer active rather than not? For example, I prefer relaxing holidays. You know,
because if I travel, I want to see more things which I can see.
Okay.
And
so you want to have more impressions, right? You want to have more impressions.
Yes, impressions.
Okay. Well, for example, what are you considering? What do you think? Christina?
Yes, sorry, I think that I have some problems with the connection link. Could you?
Yes. What do you prefer, active or relaxing holidays?
Oh, okay. Active. I think that all depends from your personal situation.
Okay.
Yes, from your emotions, from your purpose for traveling, and if your purpose to go in another country is business or work or you going to another country for solving some troubles, of course you need to be active. Some activities, some movements, maybe new stresses and nervous, but if you going to journey in different countries for relaxing, you need to enjoy by your traveling, by different landmarks, by picturesque views, and that's all.
Okay. Well, that's. I kind of agree with you. Well, it depends on the situation mostly. Okay. Now this next question. Now this is a really interesting question. I think it's really it's really actual here in Ukraine. Could you live in a new country like in another country for the rest of your life? Yes or no, and why? Could you live in another country for the rest of your life? Not in Ukraine, but somewhere else, for example. Could you? Honey, let's start with someone.
I couldn't.
Is that you, Mariana?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just that whenever I went somewhere else, I get homesick in like a week. I miss the food. I miss my family. I miss my home. So I don't think I would be able to live in another country for longer than a year. I would love to go somewhere for a year, maybe 2, but not longer than that.
All right. What about Anton? Anton?
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, Anton, could you live in another country for the rest of your life?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Okay, like for example, oh, so it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter. You say you could if you wanted to. So you could. What country, for example, would you live in for the rest of your life? For example.
New Zealand.
Where?
New Zealand.
New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
Interesting, New Zealand. Why New Zealand? That's like very, very specific.
Beautiful country.
Have you been there?
I don't hear.
Have you been there before? You're saying that it's a beautiful country. I agree with you, but have you been there before?
No, I've seen it only on photos.
Well, see, the USA is also pretty on photos, but it's not really that way in reality.
So in my school, I have a lot of teachers from New Zealand and from USA also, and I know which people live there. It's very kind people. They're very smart people. They have a very good feeling of humor, and they are also.
I'm sorry, it's not feeling; it's sense of humor.
A sense of humor. Okay, thank you.
So they have a good sense of humor. That's very cool. That's very good. Unlike Americans we have a bad sense of humor. Seriously, like we don't understand Ukrainian jokes. Ukrainians don't understand our humor. We don't understand American humor. Well, not all of it. Not all of it, and I don't know why. For example, we just don't understand a lot of the jokes. Like that Ukrainians love to joke, things that Ukrainians love to joke about. We just don't get it. I want to ask Tatiana, for example, could you live in another country for the rest of your life?
It depends on the life conditions which I can have in another country, because if I know that everything is okay and I have a good job, I have a place where I can live, so sure I will go there without thinking. But if I don't exactly have some elementary things just for me, I think that it's better to stay in Ukraine.
Okay. Well, possibly. I don't completely agree with you, but possibly. Vinny, what about you? Could you live in another country for the rest of your life? If everything was perfect, would you get homesick or not, for example? If the conditions there were ideal, for example, would you be able to live there or not, and why?
No, when I was in Germany, I understood that I couldn't live in another country, I think it would be boring for me. Boring to live where people isn't from my country.
Aren't from your country. Aren't from your country. Okay. Well, for example, let's ask Christina.
I think we're solving problem with movement out of the place, yes?
Okay. Yes, and about what are some differences, for example, between Ukrainians and like foreigners that you know, Christina?
Between who and who? Sorry.
Ukrainians and like in foreigners, for example, like if you know some foreigners, for example, Australians, I don't know, New Zealanders, what are some differences in mentality that you know?
Oh, okay. It's so momentous question for me because I really no answer at it. How I said before,
You don't, or you do.
Okay. How I said before, I have a lot of teachers from another country. They are native speaker in my school. Our people, my people. Yes, I live in Kazakhstan. I'm from Kazakhstan. And the people from far countries, from Europe and from USA, from Australia, from New Zealand, we have different mentality, different cultures. Because I don't know why so, and from which it depends on, but I know that sense of humor also different, and my ongoing assessment of the situation that it's necessary to have to all nation a different mentality, because we need to stand in our culture, in our mentality, and in our point of view. So why Ukraine's difference with European, for example, people? I think that it could depend from level of country.
Okay. Okay. On like the level of development of the country, I agree with you on that. What about, let's ask Mariana, for example, like what are some like like things about Ukrainians that foreigners should know, like specific things about Ukrainians in terms of mentality, like for example that foreigners should know like when they visit the country.
Oh, well, I'm not actually Ukrainian.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to ask where.
No, that's okay. Well, I'm Russian, and despite what's going on right now, I think that Ukrainians and Russians are, basically the same.
All right, but there is a small difference between. I forgot to tell everyone also. I'm from New York. I'm in Ukraine right now. So this is my first real live lesson with people from all.
Oh, really?
So yes, maybe I'm sorry, I didn't kind of introduce myself.
Well, it's my first lesson here too as well, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I kind of didn't introduce myself the right way. So yes, I'm sitting basically in Ukraine right now in the capital. Yes, kind of realizing that everyone is from different countries. It's kind of new to me. So I think it's more interesting. Like the public is more diverse, which makes it more interesting. That's why I'm not I was asking about Ukrainians and Ukrainians also. I thought everyone was from Ukraine, from different cities, until I realized that wasn't necessarily true. So let's start with just quickly with each and every one, where's his hometown, where he lives, really briefly. Let's start with you, Mariana.
Well, I'm originally from Voronezh.
Okay.
Voronezh in English or whatever. It's in Russia. It's actually really close to Ukraine. But right now I live in the Moscow region. I live about 40 kilometers far from Moscow. the city, well, the town is called Chekhov. It's well, you probably heard of him. You know Chekhov, the
Yes,
very famous Russian playwright.
the famous
Right.
Russian writer. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So the city is named after him because he used to live here. Well, not exactly in the town, but very, very close to it. So, well, that's pretty much it. That's where I live.
Right. Tatiana,
I'm from Ukraine. I live in Gorlovka. Maybe some of you have heard about this city, maybe some not. It's a small city, but we have a lot of plants and factories. So it's not very ecologically clean. So
okay.
I'm
That's it. That's really cool. That's in the Donetsk region, right?
yes.
Okay. Let's ask Anton. Where is Anton from?
I'm from Siberia, Republic Khakassia,
Okay.
city Abaza.
Okay.
It's in West Mountain Sands. That's it.
Okay. Interesting. So everyone has like a really different background. That's really cool. So yes. Okay. Well, also I wanted to ask. Sorry. Yes. Tatiana. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So isn't Gorlovka in the Donbas region?
Yes, it's in the Donbas region.
Yes. And how's the situation there right now currently?
Now it's calm, but on Saturday we have как авиаудар,
You mean like you had air bombings?
avia bombings,
Crazy. That's
and it was really awful. It was very scared, and I was thinking of running somewhere. I don't know where, but now it's calm and everything is okay.
all right. Well, thank goodness. That's good. Okay. Continuing about traveling, about mentality. For example, Anton, what you say about what should a foreigner know? For example, if he visits, for example, Russia, like your region, what should he know, about about the Russian mentality? For example, if it was me.
Russian mentality very straight.
Okay.
We don't like wear masks.
Okay.
I don't know what to say about.
That's good enough. Russians are basically straight. That's good. That's enough. I think that really sums up a lot of things. I forgot to ask Christina. Christina, could you introduce yourself?
About mentality or about my hometown?
About yourself, yes, about your hometown.
So, I'm from Kazakhstan, from Karaganda city. It's about 200 kilometers from capital.
Okay.
Our capital. It's very contemporary, modern city, suitable for people with big ambitions, maybe, but it's also not very ecological, because of mines. We have a lot of mines around. Yes, around our city, and sometimes it's very dangerous.
Okay, so, but the city overall is like interesting from Kazakhstan. I've never known anyone from Kazakhstan. That's really cool.
Kazakhstan, it's actually Kazakhstan is manufacturing republic, and he has Kazakhstan has manufacturing direction in economic.
That's good. What should foreigners know about mentality of of Kazakh people? What do you think?
Kazakh people very kind.
Okay.
So it's true, absolutely true. They're so kind. They're very very emotional people, but so how it's very smart and what not wonder want no
What do you why?
wise. They're very wise people.
All right.
Yes. Did you understand? Yes.
Yes.
Wise more.
So Catholic people are very nice and kind. That's very cool. That's good.
Yes. All nations in our country live and peace, live in friendly. We haven't got different
Ребят,
cultures,
закройте дверь, пожалуйста.
nationals with our politics.
Okay. That's pretty cool. That's interesting. Palestine, I would love to go and visit it someday. For sure, definitely.
Peaceful country. You're welcome.
Rihanna, what should people know about, for example, Chekhov, like where it's located? Like, you know?
Well, it's located about 40 kilometers south of Moscow.
Okay.
Well, actually, there are some quite interesting places to see if you're interested in Chekhov. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm really sorry. There's a bunch of people next door watching football, so it's a little noisy. I don't know if you can hear it or not.
Yeah. I can hear you.
Well, sorry, I'm gonna have to ask them to keep down. Ребят, чуть-чуть потише, пожалуйста. Sorry. So if you wanna see where Chekhov used to live, that's the place you definitely have to come to, and it's also a great place for people who do sports because we have some quite famous teams here, hockey teams and handball teams. Well, you wouldn't know them, of course, but they're quite famous in Russia.
Well, actually, you have a really good pronunciation. It's like you've been living abroad for some time now.
No, I haven't actually been living there. I've been a few times to the United States and once to England.
But you have a really clean accent. Like
Thank you.
You have a very good accent. Like,
Thank you.
compared to other people, definitely. Like overall, that's really cool. I want to ask also, yes, Tatiana, now, like, what are people from the Donbas region like foreigners?
They are like workworms, I think, workaholics, and they are smart, they're intelligent, and they are very kind in spite of everything maybe that you have heard about us. And we like to travel, and we have a lot of places to visit. We have one of the most famous stadium. It's Donbas Arena.
Okay.
It's really beautiful, and the area near this stadium also is wise to visit and to see it.
Okay. Well, also another thing about travel. For example,
Can you repeat, please?
yes, I want to ask everyone. Now, also, I want to talk about some words that you would also need to know while traveling. For example, what is a round trip? What is round trip? Like, there's one way and round trip, but there's no such thing
It's
as
when you
back.
buy to a place and from a place.
Okay, good. So one way is when you buy a ticket going one way. Round trip is when you buy tickets one way and Anton, can you hear us? Anton.
Sorry, I can't hear. There is maybe something with the connection.
Possibly. I want to ask Anton a question. You can hear me. Anton, hear me? Looks like not. I want to ask Anton. Can you hear us? Hello, Anton? Anton, can you hear us?
Yeah, sure. I hear.
Yes, I want to ask you a question. Like, what do you think? Like, in terms of about traveling, what do you think is like the most if you're from Siberia, are there any interesting places of interest you think like people would like to, you think people should stay there?
I don't know. Maybe wet sand, mountains.
Like mountains. Okay.
Um,
Okay. Well, wait. And what mountains are there in where you live? What are the names of the mountains?
that's all called wet sand.
Okay. Okay. Also, I have a question. What is in terms of flying? What is a layover? Layover. Can anyone say what is a layover? When you're flying, like
Is it when you have to like planes?
Almost. What is a layover? Think of it. What is Any guesses, Christina? Do you know what a layover is?
No, I don't know. What is it?
Travel connection.
Christina, do you know, or Tatiana, do you know what a layover is? And like when you're flying by plane at the airport, what is a layover? What is a layover?
Layover. Maybe when your flight is delayed, no?
No. What is a layover? Think. What is a layer? A layer is like smart. And a layover at the airport.
Накладка может быть. Нет?
It's like a break. It's maybe when you have to change planes.
Exactly. When you have to not change but wait for another plane. For example, when someone's at the airport and they say and they're telling you, I have a 1 hour layover, a 2 hour layover, a 5 hour layover. That means they have to wait at the airport, for example, for 5 hours, until the next plane. That's called a layover. Understand?
Yes.
So I don't know how you say that in Russian, but that's how you say it in English. Can anyone tell me what is the difference between like economy class and business class in terms of flying? Let's ask Tatiana.
Frankly speaking, I don't know because I have never traveled in business class. I traveled in economic class, and everything was very good, and I was pleased with the level of servicing. But I can guess that maybe in food or maybe in business class you sit like only two people in a row. Yes.
Okay.
Like this, and in economic class you sit like 2, 3, and 2.
Okay, that's right. That's good. Christina, what do you think? What is insurance?
So I think it's a question not for me because I never.
No, not only planes. What is insurance overall? Like the word insurance.
Insurance? Sorry, what does it mean? I didn't understand.
Insurance. Insurance. Mariana, could you maybe
Yes, who can explain it for me?
Insurance это страховка. Insurance. Страховка, insurance, it's like a money which you can be paid in some if you will be injured, maybe by some circumstances and situations.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Interesting. Do you think, for example, Christina? So, do you understand what insurance is now?
So, what about this? Personally, I didn't. So I didn't meet with it. I haven't got troubles with this, but I know from experience of my friends, of my classmates, when they traveled in USA and to USA and to Russia. Yes.
Okay.
In council, посольство, консульство.
Okay.
Embassy.
So when he
Embassy.
was traveling, yes.
Yes. They will have a lot of problems
Okay.
with money, but I don't know. But it's not for me. I never travel in another country, so I can't. Before my 18 age, I can't travel in other countries
Okay.
because the flow of my country depends from my family situation.
Okay. That's cool. That's pretty cool.
I see that Dana joined us.
Yes. Is this a new person, Donna? Or Diana? We can't hear you. I can see, but I can't hear you.
Чуть надо громче, пожалуйста. Что-то с микрофоном.
Yes, I can't hear. I'm sorry, I can't hear. I want to ask Anton. Anton, what do you think in terms of Anton? Anton.
Horrible voice.
It's okay.
Can you repeat, please?
In Brasilia.
Yes, can you hear us? I want to ask you, what do you think, for example, in terms of traveling? You told me that you like cycling. Yes, cycling is your favorite sport. For example, how, in terms of what countries would you like to visit, for example, if you like by bicycle, for example?
Can you repeat the last word? Don't hear last word.
Using with the bicycle, yes. What countries would you like to visit, like in terms of like
Australia, of course.
like you wanted to like trip across
Yeah.
bicycle. Okay.
It can be whole year, summer.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. So you wanted to try. So for example, Anton, what are some things that that you would probably take with you if you were going to go to Australia?
Me?
No, Anton. I want to ask Anton.
Can you repeat, please?
Yes. What would you take with you to Australia? Like, so like like your belongings, very necessary. What would you take with you?
I don't hear 15% what you say.
Yes, I said. If you were going to travel to Australia, what would you take with you?
Oh, yeah. Money.
First thing is money, of course. Okay. Okay, but like what?
It's all I need in travel.
Okay.
Money and some clothes.
And that's it. Okay. Great. Well, that's pretty cool. But other than that, you probably need some, for example, you would need some clothes. You would need some, some information about the country. For example, if talking about Dana, can you hear us? Yes. Could you introduce yourself?
Can you hear me?
Not very bad.
Давайте, one second, Дана. Вы просто возьмите, вверху экрана там есть такая шестеренка, нажмите на нее, и там поменяйте микрофон на другой, и нажмите сохранить, и все будет окей. Вы одели наушники, а осталась старая настройка компьютера. Видимо, микрофон работает, поэтому так плохо. Все. It's all. That's all. Maybe Mariana.
Yes, I'm sorry, Mariana. Yes, we talked about what you would need to take with yourself if you were going to travel to another country, right? Yep. Well, what are some things that, like, for example, you would want to know? Not some things. You probably like during the times that you were abroad, like those several times, especially in the U.S. What was your most, like, extreme situation that you were in, like, in terms of, like, that was unexpected, if you had such a situation?
Can you hear me well now?
Yes, I can hear you very good.
Wow. Well, probably the most extreme situation that I had was when I was trying to get a plane ticket out of the country, and there were hardly any available. That was pretty extreme. So I had to do some, research, and well, it took a lot of time, and it took a lot of I don't know. It took a lot of staying calm, because at one point I actually thought that I would have to stay there, and my visa was about to expire. So that was pretty intense.
Okay, so like in terms of coming back home, right? Like you were really worried about that.
Yes, I was really worried about that, because that would have been illegal. If I had stayed there extra couple days, that would have been illegal, and I was afraid that I would have trouble. I would have problems getting another visa whenever I wanted to go back. So I was really, really worried. So that's something you need to take care of beforehand.
Okay.
You need to take care of beforehand.
That's good. All right. I want to ask also, Tatiana.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, I want to. What was an unexpected situation that you were in while traveling?
I catch a flu. I got a flu,
Okay.
and it was in Cyprus. So I had to.
Cyprus?
Cyprus. Oh, Kypros maybe.
Cyprus.
Cyprus, yes. Thank you. And I had to find a pharmacy and to explain in English what symptoms I have and what I need. So it was like a very unexpected situation for me, and it was a little bit difficult.
Okay. Would you recommend going, for example, to Cyprus?
Yes, it's really a great country, and it has a great climate, and sea. It's something unbelievable. So I recommend you should. It's worth it.
Okay. I want to ask also, Mariana,
Yep.
what place would you recommend seeing out of everywhere, out of all the places that you've been to? Like destinations, what would you recommend the most and why?
In the States or in the world?
In the world.
I would recommend Spain.
Spain, right?
Any city in Spain, because wherever you go there, you'll surely find something interesting to see, and you'll meet very nice people. So Spain is the place to go.
Spain is the place to go. Wow, that's a really cool statement.
Yeah.
But what about in terms of English? Like, do people there speak English?
In Spain?
Yes.
No. They're really, really bad at English. I even met a bunch of people who were majoring in English, and they could hardly speak it.
Wow.
They're really, really bad at English. So, don't count on that. They might not understand you. So if you want to go to Spain, you'd better be prepared and, learn a couple of phrases in Spanish, because otherwise you won't be able to get by.
That's crazy. That's really cool.
That's really crazy, because the whole world speaks English, they don't.
That's amazing. That is. Anton, I want to. Can you hear us? Anton. Anton. Anton.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you tell me, did the people in your region in Siberia, how well do they know English?
Very bad. Are you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you be more specific?
Please repeat.
Yes, can you be more specific? How bad do the people know their English? Like, 9 out of 10 don't know, 80%, 90%.
Can't tell any voices. You can't see any sense.
Anton, I asked, how bad do the people in your area know English? Like only 10% or 20% know English?
So, it was my answer.
So so very bad, yes?
Yeah, very bad. Can't say any sense in English. Can't hear any voice.
Okay, Dana, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, can you introduce yourself?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you good now.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Dana, and I'm from Kazakhstan, Uralsk city. I'm 18.
Okay.
I don't know what to say.
All right.
Something else.
You go to college? Are you in school?
Uh, um, see, um, this
Institute.
year um, thank you. Um, uh,
Like, do you go to school?
this
Have you
year
been?
I'm going to go in the university. I want to be a doctor.
Okay.
So and I want to study in our country, in our capital of Kazakhstan, is Astana, and
Okay.
because it's the city of um, this city have a more mm, um, uh,
You can say in Russian.
Opportunities, maybe.
yeah, opportunity.
Opportunities. Yeah, opportunities. Okay. There are more opportunities. Okay. Yes, I want. That's interesting. That's cool. Kazakhstan. Yeah, Kazakhstan is like a really interesting and diverse place. Because I know a lot of Russians and a lot of like Ukrainian, Kazakh people live in Kazakhstan. And the people there are really interesting. Like
Yeah.
in terms of the nation and demographics. I want to ask Christina. Christina, like how well do the people know English in your area?
Christina going to see football.
I want to say, yeah, Dana, how well do the people like in your area know English?
I think they are know English very well because it's um, world languages or something like that, and Kazakh people and people in our country um, mm, uh, they are want to know English and traveling. Um, so I think they know English very well.
What about Tatiana? What about you? How well do people know English in your area?
I can't say the exact number, but I think young people, most of them know English. Most of them know English or some basics. But as far as elder people concerned, I think the situation is very bad. So maybe 50-50.
What do you think? What do you think should happen for people to know English there better?
They have to have they need some push up maybe, and they should be interested because in this process. For example, two friends of mine, they haven't ability to study English at school, and now they're studying English by themselves, and they're crazy and they like this process so much. So it depends on the people's wish.
Okay. What about you, Mariana? How well do people know English in Chekhov?
Pretty well, actually. But I don't really know why. Probably because Chekhov is really close to Moscow, and a lot of people have businesses there, international businesses, and partners from overseas. So they probably have to speak it. Besides, like I said, the town that I live in is very popular for sportsmen, and sometimes really important matches I don't know. Do you call it a boxing match? Is that a proper thing to say?
Like if boxing is a sport, well, yeah, definitely, of course, it's a sport.
Yeah, no, but can you say boxing match? Is that the word you use?
Yeah, boxing match, yeah, boxing
Well,
match.
yeah, well, like boxing matches and hockey matches are held here, and a lot of foreigners come in. So, you know, if you want to be able to communicate with people, you have to speak English. So yeah, a lot of people speak English, and they speak very good English.
Okay, well, that's pretty cool. But what I like in terms of Moscow, like, is it better? Like, would you prefer to live in Moscow or like in Chekhov?
Oh, in Chekhov, definitely. I would never want to live
But
in
what's
Moscow.
up with Moscow? But tell me, what's up with Moscow?
It's too dirty. The air is really polluted. It's too crowded. There are too many cars. There's too much noise. Besides, I have a 3-year-old son, so I wouldn't want to raise him in Moscow.
Yeah. Plus, I think everything there is like much more expensive.
Yeah, definitely. It's much more expensive.
That's what I'm saying about. I have a question. Yes, and I know a lot of people are like are watching like the World Football Championship, like soccer championship right now. I want to ask Anton. Anton, do you have a favorite soccer team?
I don't like soccer.
What is
I prefer volleyball.
Okay, so you like volleyball, right? So your favorite sport is volleyball.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your who's your favorite like sports volleyball team?
Russian national team.
Okay.
Woman.
The Russian women's national team, right?
Да.
Okay, that's cool. That's pretty cool. And back to Dana. How well do people? Oh, I'm sorry. I already asked you about English. Yes, so they know English in Kazakhstan pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the most important thing I think like for people the most important thing when you travel is English is becoming like more of an international language for traveling. And for example, I've had many situations where I was traveling. I was stuck in. I mean, like I've traveled. I've been to Europe. I've been to Russia. I've been to a lot of countries in Europe, and I had many situations where if it wasn't for English, I would have been stuck there. First of all, I would have either starved to death, or I would have something would have happened there if it wasn't for English. So English is very important. Like I mean, that was a joke, of course. That was starvation, yes. But still, I mean, something would have happened there if it wasn't for English, because there were many situations where I lost my passport at the airport, on a layover, for example. And that's the worst place you want to lose your passport, like right before you walk into a plane. Like losing your passport with all your documents is the worst place. And I've had those types of situations too, where I've lost my passport. But everything, I've figured everything out with the help of English, especially that's the most important thing. It's not even about like the money, just like Anton said, like the most important thing is money. It is money, but what's more important is the language, because with the help of English, like with the help of the language of the people that speak, then like you can actually make a lot more, do a lot more things. You have a lot more opportunities than the money that you have, than what like the money you can do. What money can do there. So it's more about communication, more about like socializing than about the money, as to what I think. So who doesn't agree with me, first of all? Tatiana, do you agree with me?
I think yes, I agree with this point of view, and so I agree.
That's good. Mariana, do you also agree?
Definitely, yes.
All right, good. Dana, what about you?
Yeah, I'm agree too.
All right, and Anton?
Certainly.
All right, well, we're coming to basically to the end of our lessons. We're about to finish our lesson right now, so I just want to say it was nice talking with y'all, having this lesson. A really interesting, a lot of interesting people. Like I said, it's my first lesson. It was nice having all of you here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks to everyone.
Do you have a next lesson on Monday? Yes.
I think yes. I think probably yes.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Окей, все, всем пока.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for the lesson. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.